Welcome to Plasticon gaming thing. Anyway, I uploaded a video just recently for X-Rays one that I did, and I plan on running a little bit more stuff. I plan on actually telling you guys a little bit about some of the stuff I've done in the past, and that sort of thing. Without any further ado, let's get into this. As you can see, I've got my main one up here. I don't actually have war within, but we're going to run around on my hunter, and I'm going to tell you a few tales of some of my old guild leader experiences and some of the things that I enjoy doing in the game. So, if you guys don't, I've been around since Alpha Warcraft, like 2000, really early 2004, late 2003. Something like that. I got a chance to actually test Alpha back then, and it was fun. I did get into the beta, and it was really interesting. I've done everything when it comes to all the vanilla rating content. The stuff they do nowadays is a little less than interesting, I should say, to myself, because I was one of the pioneers to help build a lot of this. I've also been a leader of many guilds. You guys can see I'm all kind of decked out here. This is not the full tier 3. The only piece of actual tier 3 I own is right here. My Crypt Stalker gloves. Or bracers. And I didn't even bother to get them enchanted back then. I should have. But I am actually working on trying to get the full set. I've got all the pieces here. But yeah. I've only got 37, which I think if I go look in my warband bank, I think I got a couple more pieces of philosophy leaf in there. I do. I'll snag those. So I have a total of 39 philosophy leaf. Working on trying to get full tier 3. If you guys don't know what tier 3 is, it is the max awareness stuff. You guys can see I actually do have the bow for my hunter right here from way back in the day. Probably can't see it because of my name thing up here. Let me drop this down a little bit here, see if I can get rid of that. So there it is. So I got the hunter bow, I got the hunter staff, I still have my brazier from back then. I also have my banner. I'm going to show you guys a few things with that stuff here shortly. I do have Thunder Fury. I did have this back in the day too, because I was a kiter. I was a designated hunter kiter. I guess you could call it an off-tank bed then. We used it to just tank things and kite stuff around so the rest of the group can kill it. That's kind of what I did back then. Showing you guys, I do have my full Dragon Stalker. I do have the Grand Marsh and the Lieutenant Marshal outfits. I never did get titles. I couldn't bother to do that much PvP back in vanilla. I do happen to have both of the grasp that actually turn you into a let's see if I can do it here. I'm gonna go over there and try this on. It's hard to gummy. I'll just have to auto attack because I'm marks. I'm not survival. Let's see if this actually will do it. It should turn me into the Tiger Boss. Don't know if they still work or not. Yes, they do. It's kind of funny. Seeing a harder melee. I was able to. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Probably not, because I don't have like one clip or anything like that to kind of force it to do it. I just have the auto attack. So it's just shooting bolts. Oh, I see what they did. They did disable it. Yeah, I used to be able to turn you into the Tiger Boss. It doesn't do it anymore, which is sad. Anyway, I didn't realize it was going to do that. Get Buxman to come back over here. But let's go run some stuff where we can use this banner and brazier. I'm actually enjoying the dragon flying in the old world. It's kind of nice. Pretty fun. But yeah, my experiences with running guilds stems back way into vanilla. I don't no longer run a guild or anything. It's just really weird that I have to run a guild now. Let's see here. What was I doing? Yeah. Let's go view Blackrock Depths. I'll show you what the banner does. And you just pretty much run around, do whatever in the game now. There's a lot of things in the game that have completely changed compared to what they used to be. I do play hardcore every now and then. I do play the classic every now and then, but it's hard for me to tear myself away from my vanilla hunter from back in the day. It's just not something that I find myself doing much of. So he actually got that transmog. Wow, he does. Okay, so he does have a title. Title I was talking about with the PvP stuff is this guy's sword he's got on. This is actually the claymore from the PvP stuff. You can only transmog that if you actually have a title. It is easier to get the titles now, but I haven't pushed myself to do that. Mainly because I've been doing a lot of gold farming, mainly because I'm trying to get my tier 3. But here we are in Blackrock Depths, and many, many many guilds that I run through here. Well, let's put this in my Warcraft career, I guess you call it. I probably led 5, maybe 6 guilds. I think it was 5. Maybe it was 4. Anyway, the ones that come to mind are the first one I did, which was called Raiders of the Old World. And we started that guild way back toward the tail end of Vanilla, beginning of Burning Crusade. And we ran a lot of older content. Because a lot of people were really wanting to get into it. They weren't sure what was. Some of them were coming on because of Burning Crusade was coming out at the time. So it was easier to recruit at that time. Here we are, the ring wall. And I'm going to drop this banner. And this banner will allow us to have a different boss. Normally when you come in here, you got a total of, I think, 4 different bosses, but this is a special boss that does not spawn unless you have this banner. This was acquired back in the day because there was a quest line that you had to do to get your Dungeon 2 quest. And I happen to have that. So, and I did Dungeon 2 on pretty much almost every class. There's a couple that I wasn't able to, but no big problem. So if you drop anything else, it's worth it. Anyway, I ran that old guild called Raiders of the Old World. And then I had 3 that were actually kind of connected. Here's the bonus boss. As you can see, it's a group of them. It's kind of funny. They're going to run around like a bunch of morons until I attack them. You have a Torn, Gnome, Dwarf, Kobold. You get them killing them, they actually don't drop nothing. They spawn a chest. Ooh. Got the Shroud of Arcane Master, which I already have. But that's how you get here to get these bonus bosses. Anyway, we're going to journey over to Stratham. Actually, you know what? We'll just do Lord of Blackrock. I could easily get that one to spawn down there too. But anyway, there are bonus bosses. And each one of these, if you happen to have a Brazier of Invocation or the banner of Preservation. Anyway, the second guild that stemmed from the old guild I had was called the Watchers. Actually, Azerothian Explorers. That was the name of it. We primarily focused on older content, mainly because that's where we really got into. And this was about mid-Burning Crusade. We were really doing a lot of the older content, getting people attuned for Naxxramas, getting people attuned for Onyxia, attuned for Black Lair, because you couldn't just zone into these places. You actually had to do an attunement, which is a quest line to enter the raid. The difference between a raid and a dungeon is a raid takes more people than a dungeon does. The current format of everything now is completely different. Technically, the one I was just in back in Vanilla, it was a raid. It was not just a 5-man dungeon. One thing that I used to do is run everybody before we do what was called Upper Blackrock Spire. We had to come around over here, and there's this rare guy right here. This dude right here. See the big arrow on his head? That guy would drop a scroll, and that scroll would allow you to be able to use it at the end of Upper Blackrock to get a tune for Black Moon Lair. You obviously isn't dropping now, used to. But before, if you wanted to get in the Black Moon Lair, you would have to come back here. And if you try to click on this without the attunement, this would actually burn you and hurt your character. You would take durability damage sometimes, depending on your level. It could kill you. You can click on that orb before. But that is the raid. But Blackrock Depths is the one that was below. Then we had Blackrock Spire. There was upper and lower. There used to be a portal right here at this doorway. It's no longer here anymore because Blizzard decided to upgrade Upper Blackrock, which I myself and some other people are still upset that they did this because the raid is very lackluster. It's not what it used to be. Now, Upper and Lower Blackrock Spire was a raid. Usually when you would enter the instance, this entire room here was full of mobs. You had mobs all the way throughout this entire place, even here toward the back. Now, Lower Blackrock has not changed, but there was not a portal here. You literally just enter there and you could go up or down. This place was enormous. I actually like longer dungeons and longer raids just because there was more interaction between each player. This is the actual same splash screen, though, that you would enter Blackrock Spire. And people back in the day would spam in groups whether you wanted to look for Lower or Upper Blackrock. But this is way back when things were a lot different. There are three other guilds that I was part of that I helped lead. But like I said, I had Raiders of the Old World, Azeroth and Explorers, and then I created the Watchers of Ankh. And it broke off into two other guilds, and they were all the same guild. They were just under different banners because we had different requirements on each. One was called Prodigy Birthright, which was for the newest players to the guild. Watchers of Ankh was the elite one, and the Guardians of Ankh were the ones that were working on getting everything they needed to do to AQ, to do any of the attunements and stuff like that. They were the work in progress. Prodigy Birthright was a leveling guild. But we also had bank alts back then, so some of those bank alts were in each guild. And I used to run this stuff consistently. We did Soul Grub pretty much every day, because ZG did not require any kind of attunement. Upper Blackrock actually does, because you'd have to have a ring to open up the door to get to Upper Blackrock Spire. I actually still have that. It's right here. It's called the Seal of Ascension. You had to have this to enter Upper Blackrock. And here you go, Band of Icy Depths. That's from doing the attunement quest or ringing the gong and set this to start the world event there. It is a very standard world event. It's definitely something to look up. But anyway, there was a lot of cool little things the game had years ago that are no longer in the game, which is kind of sad. I know some people are experiencing this now through Classic. I don't like to call Classic vanilla because it isn't. Because vanilla was vanilla. It was a different time. There were people there that were still looking up things of how to do certain things. People had to work together, try to figure out things and how to, acquire certain things in the game that were not attainable any other way. And this here being locked, I don't know if I have any charges. Probably do. Damn. The game was a lot different. It was fun. It's still fun. But when people compare the game that's out now to what was in 2004, it's completely different. A lot of things have changed. Classes have changed. Nobody knew what builds to use. People literally would go to things called icy veins. There were different Warcraft websites people would use to sign up for raids because the in-game calendar didn't exist. The in-game calendar is this cool thing. But if you want to, you can right-click on it and hit create event, create a guild event, create a guild announcement. This was not a thing. What people used to do is they would go to their guild tab, and there used to be a message post that you could put up here. And that's how we communicated a lot of stuff when somebody was offline. Now, we did use a voice chat system, Trello back then. Some people use TeamSpeak. I don't know if people use those still. Probably don't. But I know because people use Discord and all that now, which I don't get into because I have enough strain on my computer dealing with editing videos and such, and I don't really want to bog the machine down with more stuff, because I have plenty of little projects and stuff that I work on, and I don't necessarily need this other stuff. See if I can hear in there. By the way, I went all this way. That's the first boss. So it kind of gives you an idea how dungeons used to be in raids back then. You'd have to go quite some ways. And this is just me running through this. Now imagine having about 10 to 15 people. A lot of these mobs would actually attack you. And you would have to have 2 tanks to hold them off. Because you needed that, you needed enough heals, not everybody had enough gear back then. Because a lot of the greens I'm picking up would actually sell for a lot of gold back then. But now they're just kind of a transmog piece or just not even really useful. But anyway. I remember coming down here, and this was probably one of the harder rooms to get past because these guys would do a thing called Hex, and they would polymorph you into a form. And it would suck if your healer got polymorphed. So a lot of DPS would run in here along with the tank to try to pick up whatever they could to offset the healer so the healers don't get polymorphed so they don't die. Because these guys would hit pretty hard back then. Because their nature bolts that they do hurt pretty hard. And here's the second boss. You know, this is a pretty big raid. I just killed the boss there.
I need a target.
Should drop the crossbow. But I just want to kind of give you guys a bit of a background of some of the stuff that I've done in the game. I'm going to be uploading more stuff dealing with Warcraft because I love this game and it's fun and I enjoy sharing some of my experiences. The other day I decided to load the next thing. I was like, that'd be kind of cool to do that. Here's another boss, by the way. And now you're going to think, am I done in here? Nope. This is where I can use a brazier. My brazier will summon another bonus boss. Which he happens to be kind of an apparition this time. And what did he drop? Oh. He dropped a button. Some of these guys had a chance of dropping what's called Iron Weave. And Iron Weave was a cloth set. Back then it was an 8-piece set. And it would give you like plus 200 armor, which is pretty high. So some people actually was after that set. So if you had somebody that didn't have full Dungeon 2 or even full D1 back then, it'd be kind of ideal to bring them along and give them a chance to get some Iron Weaves before Conti. And I just like running in these places a lot. It really does bring back the old days for me. And I know the game will never be like that again. Me and my buddy was talking the other day about this. And talking about one of our former guild leaders. Because between me and Yura, I'm just going to refer to her by her game name and respect for her. She passed away, and I didn't know about this until I was like halfway through college, and I wasn't playing at the time. I quit playing about around Cataclysm because I was just concentrating on it, and I just didn't feel like playing the game at that point. I would say Cataclysm is pretty much what shattered our Earth because a lot of the content we used to run was wrecked. They installed Elixir. They had got rid of several things in the game. There's a rare right there I just killed, by the way. Demon Form, nice. This guy here is the guy I'm talking about. That was the raider. But anyway, I consider the Cataclysm the shattering of the Karaji guilds, and pretty much the end of the reign of being a guild leader. But after I quit, it had been several years, and I didn't come back to like the tail end of Mystic Pandaria, and I had found out that she had passed, and it was sad. At that point, the guild had pretty much dissolved down to nothing, and I myself really wish that, you know, the guild would have continued, but I still have many, many friends of mine that play the game, still play the game, and it's really sad. Now that I think about it. It's another boss, by the way, I just killed here, this Mother Smolderweb. She used to be part of a quest to get a pet. The pet just drops now. But before, you'd have to kill her, get an egg, bring this egg back to this guy, and bring steps. And it would give you a spider pet. Now, one thing that changed in here was that did go away.
I can't get back that.
We're gonna finish this dungeon before I'm done. But anyway, a lot of my friends that still play, they said that they didn't have, like, ever since those guilds, they have never had the same experience in WoW. It's mainly because our guild was very accepting of everybody. Didn't matter if you had somebody that had kids. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed I was doing earlier, but I was bringing the pike and the head, these two pieces here. Put those together. You have to do it right here next to this bone block. Somehow, you have a boss. Remember what I was saying? I forget. Anyway, the guild that we had was very accepting of everybody. Didn't matter. We were pretty serious when it came to rating. We did make sure everybody enters the house by the way that they do. More things I can have. I don't bother with these because these are just bugs. These two shafts are just dead ends. Back in the day, we would have to kind of gather them up and AoE them down. I think we would run a lot of stuff. Like I said, ZG was like a daily run. I would log on, and I remember the days I would log on and I would get at least 6 to 7 whispers the second I would just log into the game. Back then we didn't have Battle.net, so there wasn't like a chat system. But the second I get on there, people will be like, what are we doing today, you know? And some of the people tell me that the game has changed so much compared to what it used to be. By the way, this killed the rare this here. Oh, I didn't. He's over here. This guy here drops a reward pop. Same situation with the spider boss. He was also a quest guy that you had to kill, and you had to bring the word carrier back to him, and then he would release the dog and you would get that. Too bad I do not have any Stormform charges. This is most of the chests I've seen in a while. It's 3 of them. Should have made some of those little dynamite things so I can blow the locks on to open them. really enjoy the game. And they told me I was probably one of the best guild leaders they had. This was very accepting. By the way, just kill the boss to just summon another boss. And this is why this place was as amazing as a lot of people remember. I need to get rid of stuff. Let's just do this. Some blocks. Let's send us over my mage. So BOE items, bind on equipped items. That way I got enough room to send stuff. That should be enough. Anyway, he did say I was one of the best guild leaders they had ever had. And we ran our guild pretty competitive. There were times our guild would just run, say, Karazhan. So Burning Crusade, this is actually back when Burning Crusade was current content. We have like 3 or 4 groups all at once. And we have a pool of gold. And whoever ran through Karazhan first, because we'd all start at the same time. Whoever would finish the raid, then it got rolled, and then it was divided amongst those raiders. And we tried to build a really healthy, competitive environment. There were times that have to log off and leave and stuff like that. And there are times that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm frustrated. There are times that I would have to go and talk to my officers in the guild to try to handle certain situations. It's just some complicated stuff that being a responsible leader had to deal with. As in fun and not accessing it really wasn't fun. But there we go. There's Black Rock Spire Lower. Ran for you. I did get several items I didn't have because of the transmog thing, which is kind of cool. But I'm going to get hurt here. Use my microwave now because I like playing microwave. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little going through some older content and listen to this old guild leader, old man ramble about the old times in Warcraft. And I'm probably going to end up doing more stories like this in the future. You guys stay tuned. If you guys like this, please like, share, subscribe. I do have membership on YouTube, and I do have a Patreon. I'm doing just shout outs for those who donate. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and this is from Plasticon, aka Fox Firestorm, and this is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. You guys have a good one. I'll see you around. That's it for now. Bye.